Welcome, all of my divine sparks, sparkling stars, star seeds, you divine beings and chosen ones. Welcome. Those of you who are multidimensional beings and spiritual alchemists, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time here for the channel, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. So, for all of you spiritual alchemists, multidimensional architects, those of you who are creating profound transformation by opening up others to universal and cosmic elements, elements that will connect them to their divine wisdom and ultimately to their divine self, assisting and achieving self-mastery. Because everything begins with the self first and foremost. And so here with the channel, the last few messages we've been talking about have been of multiple things that are all kind of coming together. So we had a reading about paradigm shifts, which were just about fundamental changes. Some readings that talked about being vigilant and staying vigilant, which is being watchful. Messages about perspective and seeing things from a higher perspective. Also about empowerment and self-empowerment. And so with the messages that came forth about empowerment, there were messages about sovereignty. Sovereignty meaning supreme power and or authority. It was speaking about self-governing, about freedom from external controls, about autonomy and the ability to make and enact decisions of your own freedom, your own free will, free from external influences that are imposed by other agents. Now, with these other agents, it could be, because we also talked about karmics, that was a recent reading, and karmic lessons that were meant for your spiritual acceleration, if you could find the value in them, so that you're not repeating certain cycles. And we even had some things that came up about spiritual revolution with this personal autonomy, where you're governing your behavior, your emotions, and even your cognitive abilities. This spiritual revolution was speaking about there being an essence of a new system and being in favor of a new system. That's had a lot to do with the paradigm shifts. So with this transcending of the heavier dimensional frequencies that we in, this 3D frequency, as we're ascending and elevating, there was this essence of, and this is a new term, I got this during meditation. We've heard of the term homeostasis. Homeostasis is any self-regulating process by which one and or an organism tends to maintain stability while adjusting to the conditions around them and finding the best way for the self, the organism, to best thrive. Okay, and so to break that down in like layman's term, it's like when you think of homeostasis on a scientific basis, it's usually thought of in the body, so biologically and or psychologically, right? And so when it comes to the body, you think of things like temperature. The body naturally regulates its homeostasis when it comes to temperature. What do I mean? Okay, so if you're too hot to cool itself down, the body will begin to sweat to maintain that temperature of the 98, what is it, 98 degrees, 98.6 degrees. And if the body is too cold, then you begin to shiver and burn off certain, like you shiver so that your body tends to burn up energy and you can warm up. So that's an example of homeostasis, right? And with this homeostasis, like I said, it usually you think of it when it comes to the body, but then it can also be psychologically when it comes to the mind. So if you're very stressed out, you find yourself, the body finds itself looking for homeostasis by relieving that stress. And there could be a multitude of ways that you relieve the stress. You could go into flight or fight for some of them, and so the body starts to release a lot of cortisol trying to find homeostasis. You could also like some people, when they're stressed, they overeat, and so the body's finding its comfort in the eating, but that may not always be the best way to get homeostasis in any way, shape, or form. The body's always trying to get back to the best conditions for it to thrive. That's homeostasis, okay? So in the process of thinking about homeostasis, there's the psychological, like if it's cold outside, then one would put on a jacket, or if you're hungry or thirsty, then you would eat something. These are all examples that I'm giving just to show you how the body goes back to wanting to maintain homeostasis. Okay, so I got this download, and I think I'm coining this term because when I was doing my research, I didn't see this term anywhere, but it's like spiritual homeostasis. So what is that? Soul or spiritual homeostasis? What are you talking about, Tonae? Well, what is this soul spiritual homeostasis? Okay. So it's when, or how I'm getting the download, it's when the soul, the spirit, is seeking as well as wanting to maintain an elevated frequency and or vibration, so that it is not only creating but achieving and maintaining an optimal level, an optimal frequency, an optimal vibration. Because my divine starseed multi-dimensional beings, you wonderful spiritual alchemist, it's easy to say raise your vibration, raise your vibration. We do that, right? You can do that by taking a minute to go outside and get grounded. You can do that by taking a moment to meditate, right? And so yeah, we can elevate the frequency, especially in this very dense realm, 3D realm that we're in. And so once you've reached an elevated frequency, how do you then maintain it so that it becomes your homeostasis? So it's not to say that you're always going to be on a high vibration. We know that. But to make it the homeostasis, or what is the now paradigm shift, the now maintained vibration or frequency, as we're going into higher dimensions, being the multi-dimensional architects, meaning we're building this new earth, we're building the new homeostasis. So it's not going to be as heavy and as dense as it is. Your emotional body, light body, spirit body, soul is finding homeostasis on a higher vibration, higher frequency. This is a part of the download that I'm getting. And it comes through making conscious decisions here. That's why these last couple readings we're talking about karmics and karmic lessons, why we've been getting into sovereignty and spiritual personal autonomy, where it's governing of self. Because as multidimensional architects, we're raising the vibration, raising the frequency, yes, but you want to, how I'm getting it is that it now needs to become like the, like you got to transcend the status quo of what's normal to quote unquote normal to us now. And so these new vibrational frequencies, this sovereignty, this self-governing, this autonomy, personal autonomy, even comes with this spiritual homeostasis or soul homeostasis, where the soul is not only achieving and creating these higher vibrational frequencies and vibrations, but it's also able to maintain it. So yes, you'll dip down because we do experience in this realm all dualities. For happy, there's sad or getting down. Um for dark, there's light. For but the new architects are building, or what's being ushered in, is this spiritual homeostasis. So not only are you attaining these higher vibrational frequencies, you're being able to maintain it. Okay? So that's where we're at with this messages. We're going to make sure I got everything. Maintaining these frequencies. So it's like your soul is guiding your intuition. A lot of you are now seeing a lot of these signs, these synchronicities, and it's to assist the self, you, into regulating this process of adjusting the internal, because as within, so without. So what's happening internally is what's going to cause this, the homeostasis, which is going to assist us in the vibration not only being achieved, but also being maintained. Because we can all achieve a higher vibration. You can do it, at any given moment. But how easy is it to maintain? May I have 3, please, for each? 1, 2, 3. So it's adjusting the internal and the external conditions to get the self, you, regulated to an optimal vibration and to maintain it so that you're on your optimal timeline and reaching optimal dimensions. Some of you, we talk about 5D, 5D, 5D. Okay, so 5D is going to be how I'm getting it, like the I don't want to say the normal, but okay, yeah, you're going to reach the 5D, but some of you, because of your internal and external conditions of being able to maintain certain frequencies, optimal frequencies, you'll be in higher dimensions. You'll be able to transcend or ascend even into higher dimensions. This is a part of that, maintaining the spiritual, the soul homeostasis. You can call it however you want. I got it as soul homeostasis, but spiritual homeostasis goes with it also. These are downloads, not coming from self, but a new term, I'm coining it, and it's spiritual soul confirmation, thank you. Homeostasis. So let's get into the messages about this spiritual soul homeostasis and how we can not only create a spiritual homeostasis that takes us into higher vibrational frequencies where we're transcending this 3D, this status quo, what we've come to know, see, be, and feel as the norm. Because in the spiritual realm, we know a lot of things are different, like time and like time for one thing doesn't exist in higher realms. Okay, so there's a lot of other things that are wanting to step into this transformational energy, this multidimensional building. Like, that's why you guys, a lot of you are multidimensional architects. You will be creating, stepping into, forging forward with this spiritual homeostasis. So let's get some messages, find out what's going on. And yeah, let's roll with it. Okay. So what I'm asking as far as a reading, and for Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m., we will be going into this as a live. For those of you who would like to give your insight or any, now that you're receiving the message, downloads that you may be getting, because we are a collective. We're having our own individual journey, but as a collective, we then link up, tap in, and more wisdom is given to others, and we're able to share the wisdom so that all can elevate, grow, and have this spiritual homeostasis, you know. So what I'm seeking is divine guidance to assist us in achieving spiritual soul homeostasis and how to maintain the optimal level in and through these higher dimensions. I know it's a mouthful. Talk to the divine. They gave me the messages, okay? And so I pulled out a new deck. Well, it's not new, but it's the pictures I want to speak to your intuition. So if you can see this, it's the Lemurian deck. Let whatever image is speaking to you to spark your intuition. Group number 1, you have this beautiful being here with all of the stars around her, and she has actually 6 arms. Can you see that? So this is the message for group number 1. That's your key image. Group number 2, you have this beautiful mix of a kaleidoscope. Looks like the chakra colors are in there. Can you see that? Yeah. That's your image. And each of these cards actually does have a message on the back, so we'll get into that. But I don't want you to see the message. I actually want the image to speak to you. So group number 3, you also have a kaleidoscope of images. And this is what your image looks like. Hope you guys can see that clearly. Okay, so take a look. Group number 3, that's your image. Group number 2, this is yours. And you're welcome to listen to all 3 of the messages if you are led to by your intuition. You may just choose one of the images is speaking to you, maybe all 3. Let your intuition be your guide. Now, let us get into this divine guidance to us achieving spiritual soul homeostasis. And did I talk about? Yeah, I talked about what homeostasis was. Okay. So group number 3 goes here, and group number 2. Okay. So group number 1, this was the beautiful image you chose. Your message that's on the other side says to reclaim your energy. So as you are achieving spiritual and soul homeostasis, how you're going to achieve it and then maintain the optimal level in and through your higher dimensions is to reclaim your energy. And we'll read this message shortly. This is what your card looked like, okay? And then, as a crystal card, you guys have the rhodochrosite, And you have your high vibe card says stuff happens, but not stuff. You have prayer and hope. You also have power and happiness. You have self-love and precognition with psychic ability and future visions. No, that needs to go right here. No, it needs to go right. Okay, good. And you have magnanimous me. You have the Shyland Master with be graceful in movement and action. You have Mother Earth with feel loved and comforted. Your chakra card is psychic development. Possess self-confidence. Wolf with instinct. And celebration with sacred ceremony. Like that needs to go right there. And your rune is Ingwaz with earth. I'm going to put that right next to Mother Earth. And then you have a kipper which says judication. So we're getting all kinds of messages because you're going into this process of receiving this divine guidance, and this divine guidance is here to assist you to achieve spiritual soul homeostasis. Not only to achieve it, but also how we can maintain it to achieve your optimal level, optimal vibration, optimal timeline, to dwell in optimal higher dimensions, okay? And then your tarot is the Chariot, the King of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. So let's put that here. Okay, good. You can see that? Yes, you can see that. And then you have younger man. You have success. You have womb spells and platonic. Let's put possess self-confidence up here. And then there. Let me see. Okay, that's good enough. We're going to work with what we got going on here. So, group number 1, the divine guidance for you all in achieving this spiritual soul homeostasis is first and foremost to reclaim your energy. It says our energy is our responsibility, and how we give it away becomes a conscious choice. So that's where we talked about that sovereignty. We talked about not only just the sovereignty, but making conscious decisions, okay? So as you're making conscious decisions, it's saying it's our responsibility, and how we give it away becomes a conscious choice as we step into empowerment. And we talked about self-empowerment. So it says, and yes, it is possible to restore the fragments of self we gave away before we came to this awareness. So see, in this realm, in this dimension, in this denser matrix that we're in, a lot of us unknowingly even have sought others to, for some, tell us what to do. For others, we just gave away our power unknowingly. It's like we had a government and we expected them to tell us X, Y, and Z. But in this newer vibration, in this spiritual homeostasis that we're moving into as we're elevating, it's like there's a higher awareness, being more aware, and this awareness is necessary, because if you don't become aware of a situation, then you would never know there needed to be a shift in any way, shape, or form. It took the awareness before a shift could even be thought about or had. Okay? So it says you have the power to own your energy and choose where you direct it. Now, as we're elevating, a lot of us will consciously be directing, because your subconscious, unfortunately for a lot of us, has already been programmed in these lower dimensional frequencies by parents, by government, by TV, by friends, by societal norms, by expectations of certain groups, people, places, things, okay? And because our subconscious patterns have been running on these programs, it's now like you're choosing to take, because you're aware, you're taking this power back and you're now directing it. And I know this is happening because a lot of you are receiving, like, this is a future vision. I know for me, myself, when I got this message, I was like, Divine, what are you wanting me to say? Where are you taking me? It's precognitive. It's seeing it before it happens. So a lot of you are becoming aware of this now, and you're going to recognize that you have the power. I just heard that song, You Got the Power. So you have this power to own your energy and choose where you direct it, no longer needing others to direct it for you. And a lot of times we were directed through, let's just call it what it is, through music and musicians, not to lay blame or play victim in any way, shape, or form, because even some of them didn't know what they were getting into. What did we do in this realm? We sought money. Money was the key to everything. So a lot of people got caught up because they were chasing the bag, getting that almighty dollar, anything to get the money. When money was just to be a tool, just as your awareness is a tool. Even your energy is a tool. Now, how will you direct and or use these tools? Your awareness and your energy. You get to choose now. Now that you're becoming aware of it. So, divine star seeds, multidimensional architects, you spiritual alchemists, if you are not at your optimal vibration and able to maintain it, because we can get to an optimal vibration, but the key going forward is now being able to maintain it, to have that be the soul's, the spirit's homeostasis, so that it's not dragged back down into these denser vibrational frequencies. If you're not at your optimal vibration, consider the core of why this may be. See, we have to bring things to our awareness. And even when it comes to karmic cycles, if you're not aware that you're in a karmic cycle and that there needs to be a shift, you'll never be able to end the cycle and shift it. So now that you're recognizing that your vibration, your frequency is not at its optimal capacity, you can sit and seek the guidance as to why. Why am I having these patterns? Why are certain cycles happening? Who have I given my power away to? How may I take responsibility and make a conscious choice to empower myself and call back the fragments of myself? How may I take this awareness now and use it to allow my soul to be guided by my intuition, by the signs, by the synchronicities, to assist in regulating this process and adjusting my internal so that our external, then becomes our spiritual homeostasis. It says to detach from depleting influences and boost your positivity. So what is it that could be depleting your, because there's multitude of things that are wanting to are that are in the essence wanting to deplete your energy, to keep you in a lower vibrational frequency, to keep you in lower densities. What is it, divine beings, that you need to detach from in order to boost your positivity? Because it's up to you to make this shift, to transform your life by choosing a higher vibrational frequency and maintaining it, by choosing healing, by choosing to step out of certain cycles, by choosing self-empowerment, to kickstart this upward spiral toward this abundant energy that our soul is desiring for a lot of us, this spiritual soul homeostasis. This is the download that I've been getting. And for a lot of you, it's time to step into self-love. That's going to be one of the first foundational principles, because it's necessary. Before you can step out to love anyone else, you have to have implemented self-love as a foundational principle. And as you're stepping more into that energy of self-love, it allows you to then up the ante on your self-confidence. And you can possess self-confidence, which then leads into you trusting your instincts. When you think of animals, they don't need anyone to necessarily tell them what to do. They instinctually move. And as we're shifting into these new higher vibrational frequencies, and to maintain it, it will be instinctual. It will be your spiritual, your soul's homeostasis. It is a part of that paradigm shift. And if you're not sure, because a lot of you, your soul's calling for this, but if you're not sure and you still feel like you're still in karmic cycles, and for whatever reason you may not be elevating, and don't get it twisted, we all go through this. That's why we're, yes, having this individual journey, but it's also a part of a collective. You're not here alone doing this. Yes, you're having your individual journey, but as you tap into, go within with yourself and connect to the divine source, they will hear you. Your soul is actually calling for this for a lot of you. So connect with your higher self, with God, with source energy, your ancestors, because they hear your prayers and they hear what your soul is actually calling for you to do. Sometimes the messages seem like they are getting twisted in these lower frequencies in this dimension. But do believe, all you have to do is speak from your soul, speak from your heart, and they'll hear you, and that will assist you into having profound transformation. A lot of you are having these profound transformation, and you're feeling the power within you grow, right? And as you're feeling this power, you want to be graceful in your movement and your actions, because a lot of beings, when they come into this power, especially in this 3D realm, if they felt powerless for whatever reason, and a lot of things make people feel powerless. Let's talk about that for a minute before we move forward. What are some of the things that can make people feel powerless in this 3D realm? Okay, when we look at certain people in society, if they have a whole bunch of money, you feel like the trinkets, the Lamborghini, the cars, the shoes, the clothes, that gives you status, when those things are so fleeting. Honestly, they really are. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not nice to have those things. Of course, you should even be able to enjoy your experience here. But if we're keeping it all the way real, a lot of people feel powerless when they don't have even the quote unquote necessities of life. How many people are feeling powerless because they're struggling just to keep a roof over their head. Or they go in the grocery store and they have to have a minuscule budget and put certain things back because you just don't have it, and society says you're less than, or you feel powerless because you feel like you can't change that circumstance. Now, this is not to blame anyone. This is just to show you why and how some people feel powerless in this society. Not wanting to play victim, but this is something that really happens. As a lot of you are gaining this power and you're transcending those thoughts, because yes, a lot of it does start with self and the thoughts that we're having. As you're transcending these thoughts, you're finding ways to transform them and you're stepping into this power. You want to be graceful in your movement and actions, because some people get power drunk and then they want to control other people. Hence us having a society where most people honestly do not think for themselves. They're running on a program, the Matrix program, of these lower vibrational dense frequencies, and someone else is controlling their every move, thought, whether they know it or not, because they haven't necessarily found a way to tap in and change certain thoughts, certain frequencies, certain vibrations. Even the way we pay taxes. You ever thought about why you pay taxes? No, you just do it. Do you ever think about the tax system and the fact that you get paid and the employer paid taxes on the money before they gave it to you, and then you got to pay taxes once it's given to you in a paycheck, and then when you go to the store you pay even more taxes? Like, there's so many things. And like I said, this is not to play victim. This is to show you how certain programs have just been instilled with us and we've gone with the status quo. And this is because others feel like they should have power over you. But a lot of you are ascending and you are taking your power back. You're stepping into your sovereignty. You're recognizing that you're a multidimensional architect and you can build, create, co-create the life you desire in this realm, in this dimension, and moving forward in higher dimensions. And if you haven't, some of you will be coming into this because you're tapping into your psychic ability and these future visions. And so as you're having the psychic abilities and this power increase, don't then become the quote unquote dictator or want to rule over other people. It's really about letting those cycles close out. Card number 27 totals 9. And stepping into that energy of magnanimous me. What was magnanimous again? Remember, we had a reading on that too. And magnanimous, let me pull that up for you. Magnanimous was being generous and or forgiving, especially toward rivals. So that's where we're not playing victim. We're not upset with those that are in government or have power and wanted to basically control you. Even on a spiritual, we can talk about it because we know we got spiritual gatekeepers. I'm putting it all out. I'm not afraid. I'm stepping into this power. There are spiritual gatekeepers. Some of you have had word inside of you or future visions, psychic abilities that have been coming forth. And let's say you maybe even started a channel. There are some that are gatekeeping. We're not playing victim, no, but we do have to recognize that certain things do happen. Some that wanted you, quote unquote, blackballed for some of you. Really just wanted you to shut the F up. Let's just keep it all the way real. But because you guys are the spiritual alchemists, you still found the value in those lessons. The value of being able to see what was happening on the spiritual realm that you may have never been aware of. And now, because you're aware of these things, you can move like a Shaolin master, being graceful in your movement and your actions, and even taking on this energy of being magnanimous. And that's what's allowing your soul and your intuition to regulate this process and adjust your internal and your external conditions. It's allowing you to achieve this spiritual soul homeostasis of a more graceful movement in action and thoughts. It's allowing you to feel more loved and comforted because you know that you're developing psychically for a lot of you. A lot of you are now tapping into this earth energy, and you're on this multidimensional architect spiritual alchemist energy, to where you're elevating your frequency and vibration, and you're finding ways to elevate the earth's frequency and vibration also. A lot of you are doing this just by maintaining your happiness. Even when things go wrong, you're finding the value in it, and it's allowing you to tap into this happiness. You're knowing that your internal, your self-love, as you maintain that, outwardly flows and allows you to maintain this power and self-confidence, to trust your instincts, to trust these psychic visions, future visions, and psychic development. A lot of you are moving forward with the Chariot. You're allowing your masculine and your feminine energies to come together and feel whole. And you're able to materialize that energy of the higher dimensions and bring that down to this denser dimension with the King of Pentacles here. And a lot of you are able to speak these messages now. It's new for a lot of you with the Page of Wands here, but you're enthusiastic and ambitious about this precognition and psychic abilities that you're having. You're finding more stability about your psychic development for a lot of you. And you see the potential and the new beginnings. You're feeling the fertility and the growth, especially with the Mother Earth card here. And for a lot of you, that's allowing you to feel this energy of celebration, feel this energy of happiness. On the spiritual realm, a lot of you are like, as I said, multidimensional architects, but you're spiritual alchemists. So you're recognizing that the things that are happening here on the spiritual realm, there are higher forces that are connecting with you, and that's why you're receiving these future visions and psychic ability. With judication here, it's like the gavel has already been, like order in the court, the gavel has already been tapped. And that's why you're being encouraged at this time to reclaim your energy. So that as you're ascending into these higher realms, any of the challenges that may be persisting, any of the cycles that you're stepping out of, you'll be able to see them as thrilling, as passionate. You'll actually celebrate the challenges. Because no matter what, you know you're connected to higher forces, and you're going to receive the vision that you need. Like, they'll send you the messages when necessary. And you're protected is what I'm getting. Because for some of you, this is new. But you have the power no matter what. You have the power. In the process of having this power, you want to reclaim your energy, because for a lot of you, you're already stepping into success, whether you know it or not. On the spiritual dimensions with judication here, it's like the courts, the spiritual courts, the gavel has been swung, case closed. It is a success. Your soul, your spirit is already in this spiritual homeostasis. Now it's in the process of maintaining, because you've achieved it, group number one. But now we're moving into the essence of maintaining in these higher dimensions this spiritual homeostasis as we're elevating and keeping this elevated vibration and frequency. No more of this density. Even the new earth energy itself is more elevated. That's why there's this call for the spiritual homeostasis. It's letting go of the old patterns, behaviors, people, even things, to make room for these new experiences that will be future energy. This is what is happening. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. See, you have the womb spells here. The womb is where a lot of this creative energy was happening. So for a lot of us, and I heard someone say they call it the false matrix mother system. That's why, if you think about it, everything that's fake is what's celebrated in this realm right now. Let's just call it for what it is. Even artificial intelligence, we celebrate. The word artificial means fake, and we celebrate these things. We celebrate fake breasts and fake behinds when you're just average. If you don't have any of this, we celebrate fake hair and fake nails. And don't get it twisted, I wear some of these things too, but it's become the new, like the fake has become the new real. So that's why there is this call for the spiritual revolution, where there is now a soul spiritual homeostasis of not just raising your vibration or raising your frequency. It's also about maintaining it. The womb spells that were done to harvest the creative ability, a lot of that stuff is ending, and you're stepping into a new creative energy, new profound transformation. And some of you, you're going to be linking up with others. With platonic here, some of these are younger souls. So it's like the new soul. I don't want to, because some of you are old souls. So you've been through this process. You've come many times to assist the collective. But there are new souls, with younger men here. New souls that are coming in, and a lot of these souls, because they're new, it's like they'll be your soul family. With platonic here for some of you. And just to bring it back to a 3D level, some of you have platonic friends that may be younger than you that are already seeing you as successful and are wanting to collaborate with you, because they're also tapping into their psychic development, and they're having this precognition also. And it's like these will be the people that you're celebrating with as you all achieve this spiritual and soul homeostasis. They already possess self-confidence, and they've already tapped into their self-love. And if they haven't, you guys will be assisting each other to do so. Yes, we are on an individual journey, but we're also a collective at the same damn time. So whatever has happened that caused the energy to drop as a whole in this realm, and us to be so heavy, so weighted, so dense in this realm, it doesn't matter why. All that matters now is that there is this essence of making conscious decisions now to tap into this soul homeostasis, this spiritual homeostasis, and not just actually elevate, but to actually maintain this elevated frequency and vibration, so that the internal, going within, and the external conditions are now regulated, and they're regulated to an optimal vibration and frequency, to optimal timelines and optimal dimensions. And even if we don't know where these new beginnings are taking us, we're trusting the unknown, happily trusting the unknown. and staying graceful in movement and actions, feeling loved and comforted, with Earth here twice. Even the Earth energy, Mother Gaia herself, is excited about this spiritual, about this soul homeostasis. Because even the homeostasis of the Earth is now elevated. It's a new Earth energy, is what you've been hearing. We've been talking about it. Okay, group number 1. It is time for this bold and courageous action. Again, even if we don't know where these new beginnings are taking us, it's about that time. Yeah. So thank you for joining me, group number 1. This is Tonae Star with Tonae Star Enterprises. Yes, where we are multidimensional architects, spiritual alchemists. Let me gather this up. Okay, group number 1, and so this was 2. So group number 2, this was your beautiful image. Let me show it to you again. I know my lighting's not the best, but you're going to rock with it. And then this is your message, and the key word is healing. I'm going to put that right under the green stone. And then your crystal card is the Olivenite. And you have your inner wisdom coming forth. You also have bones for casting with divination. You have the high vibe card of compliments. You have toadstool with growth. And the daffodil fairy with new beginnings. You also have responsibility, calming the waters with peaceful self-regulation, time out, she-wolf with unleash the wild within, rebirth, worry is a wasted emotion, lightning with power. Your rune is the algaes with elk. And it's funny, she's got elk horns or deer horns there too. And you have great fortune. And your tarot is the Sun, the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Wands. And then you also have addictions, warlock, and adjustments. It's always gotta be something. It's okay. We take the light with the dark, and then we alchemize that ish. Alrighty, group number 2. Your divine guidance as to how to achieve spiritual and or soul homeostasis and how to maintain the optimal level in and through higher dimensions starts with healing. And your healing card says, the Lemurians were healers, naturally intuitive and accustomed to navigating energetic-based realities. We all have natural healing abilities that are advanced when we deepen our energetic awareness. So see, that's what we're talking about. A lot of you are deepening your energetic awareness, and it's allowing you to now achieve this spiritual and soul homeostasis. Now, when we perceive the world beyond the more well-known senses, so not just what we see with our five senses, but what we cannot see in the energetic realm, especially with you having divination here. See, a lot of people have a problem with tarot, but tarot is actually just another tool. And yes, I'm going to say it, and some people are going to get mad, just like your Bible. Because tarot allows you to see energetic frequencies that are going on that you may not have been aware of if you're only tapping into your five senses. Your Bible allows you to receive basic instructions before leaving Earth. Well, for a lot of us that are perceiving the world beyond just the basic, that are spiritual alchemists, we take the base elements, basic tools, and alchemize those into elevated tools, just like you would take metal or iron and change it into gold. That's what previous alchemy was all about. Well, on an energetic, on a spiritual level, you take basic information, basic knowledge, and you transcend that status quo, the norm, the basic, into elevated wisdom, awareness of beyond the five senses. That's not to make anyone mad. It simply is just information, guidance. Take and do what you will with it. Let it fall by the wayside or let it take root and expand in your consciousness so that your consciousness can also expand, finding the balance between your conscious mind and your subconscious that has already had programs running in the background that you may not even be aware of. Especially group number 2 with worry. A lot of you worry because you have a lot of subconscious programs that are running in the background. And that's why some of you may need to take a time out. Card number 22, because you're building something better. That's that number of the master builder here. It's where you can tap into that life force energy of things that are going on behind the scenes that you may not be aware of, and find a way to use the energy for peaceful self-regulation, to calm your emotions, to calm your waters, water meaning emotional waters, especially if you're worrying a lot. This could assist you with those adjustments energetically. For those of you who may have any addictions, even addictions to wanting to control others with the warlock here. And whenever you think of warlock, we always think of just the dark aspects, right? And so warlock can also be any person, man or woman, that practice wanting to control others. So whether you know it or not, if you, why am we having to go here? If you're willing to not take responsibility for your actions and you're entrusting your what's the word I want to use? You're entrusting your sovereignty to someone else. So let me, okay. Why are we going here, Divine? Why are you taking me here? Okay, look, let me put something on the table. This is not to make anyone upset, okay? A lot of people go to church, right? I'm not attacking the church. I'm just going to put some information out. But they don't even read the Bible for themselves and get the basic instruction. They depend on their preacher to take control and then interpret the word for them. And so you're giving over your sovereignty to someone else, when you have your own Christ consciousness that you can tap into. Now, am I saying it's bad to have a leader that assists you? No, I'm not. Because at some point in time, we all need teachers. We all have guidance. But they're only supposed to give you the tools to then master yourself. Not become your, see, a lot of organizations with the Hierophant here. Organizations could be church, could be businesses, could be anyone, warlock style, that you've given over your sovereignty to take responsibility, to tell you when, where, and how to do it. The Bible are the basic instructions. Have you gone and sought above the basic? Because there's a lot of things that are happening energetically that you may not even be aware of, because you're waiting for someone else to tell you that this is how it's done and this is the way you should do it. And you're not making conscious decisions to grow. And then when things don't happen a certain way, because you've given your power away, you start to worry, which is just a wasted emotion. You don't tap into that inner wisdom. And the great fortune is actually tapping into that inner wisdom. It's finding a way to regulate self. It's finding a way to tap in by going within to your own profound transformational aspects. Finding your happiness, your joy, your growth, and then making the decision consciously, mentally. Because it's your inner wisdom. So then you then know how to maneuver within certain organizations and then take control of that. But a lot of you won't even take that time out to even consider that as as an option, because you've been programmed to say, that's my, I do not want to go here. That's my pastor, they know, and blah, blah, blah. And this is not me coming against any pastor, shape, or form. No way. I'm not doing that. They are a necessity. Certain programs, certain foundations were set. But that was your basic. If you're elevating, you take the basic information you got. So when you were in kindergarten and you learned your colors and the letters to start spelling, because spells are words, you then the things you knew that you learned in kindergarten, you now know programmed that you're in the 5th grade to do. But at each level, you had to take in more wisdom in order to elevate. You didn't stay at the basic kindergarten level. Okay? That's just for some. As we're moving into these new earth energies, there will be adjustments that will be made. Even to the warlocks that are behind the scenes. I'm not just going to get on the pastors. There are warlocks that are behind the scenes, these gatekeepers that want to control people's energy. And that's why some people, because they stay at a basic base level, they don't even recognize spiritually that there are some that manipulate and fool with energy. And even if you see it, do you even know how to counteract it by taking control and taking your power back? Because there are some that just are power drunk, as I stated, with they're addicted. They're addicted to fooling around in other people's energy. It's real. Whether we want to admit it or not, it is real. So anyway, when we perceive the world beyond the more well-known senses, we start to receive information and wisdom different from that which stems from the intellect. It's not just the 5 senses, it's an inner wisdom. It's growing from the basic into a more elevated consciousness. It's making these adjustments so that we can have a rebirth of the soul, rebirth in spirit and homeostasis, a rebirth in power and sovereignty of self-empowerment. There are new beginnings that are happening. You can stay at the basic or you can make adjustments. You can take the time out to tap into your inner wisdom by whatever means. The Bible, divination, because some will tell you, no, you're not supposed to do that. And I say to them, your path is your path. You get to choose. You are a sovereign being. But as we elevate into these new earth energies, there's a rebirth that is happening. And those of you who are going to be able to maintain an elevated frequency will need to take your power back. By tapping into life force consciousness and using this abounding energy alongside focused intentions. You see, anything is possible. Extend the margins of your awareness from the basic. Revisit a situation from a broader perspective or a higher vibration with a focus on healing. I mean, I don't want to go there, but for a lot of us, if we think back before slavery times, the Bible was actually beat into a lot of us. But does that mean it's still not a spiritual tool? No, it is. It is. But it's basic. And it's only basic because it's been written and rewritten and written and rewritten. The authentic records, some things have been left out intentionally so you would stay basic. I am a messenger and I give the messages of the light and the dark. This is getting heavy. Extend the margins of your awareness. Revisit a situation from a broader perspective or a higher vibration with a frequency on healing. The healing comes through healing mind, body, and soul. And as you're healing the soul and you're raising your frequency and your vibration, it's then with homeostasis to then maintain it at an optimal level. This is that rebirth that is happening not only for us as individuals, us as a collective, and us as the earth. When these new beginnings and this new earth energy is being ushered in, there's no need to worry about the things of the past because we're stepping into a time of great fortune. But it will take calming the emotions and being able to take responsibility to become aware of the power of our thoughts, and then still being able to express love to self, then love to others collectively, and even love to the earth, because we take it for granted. We just feel like we can use and I do it too. We can have all of these one-use items, plastic forks, plastic cups, and we never think about where this stuff is going. And then when it ends up in the oceans and pollution is washing up on the oceans, then what? We don't think about the lithium batteries that we use in our electric cars and what happens when these lithium batteries need to be disposed of. We don't even think about the trees that we cut down just to make money. That's just supposed to be a tool. Yeah, let's take deeper dives into things. Not playing the victim, looking at the status quo that we have created. Are these things going to continue to make us happy as we continue to focus on the artificial? Or do we need to make conscious decisions, Queen of Swords style, to create better organizational habits, world habits, collective Hierophant, habits, so that this soul spiritual homeostasis can take forth as we're having new beginnings. We don't have to worry about the past, but we may need to make adjustments to grow, finding a way to unleash what's within us, the inner wisdom within us. Perhaps the issue is simply an outdated or limited perception placement. We have the ability to align to a fresh, new timeline inspired by wholeness. But are we going to be willing to step into that new timeline? Or are we just addicted to giving away our power? Addicted to having this convenience? The algae's rune is a rune of protection. You see, with it being symbolized by the elk here, it's about the antlers and how they ward off foes. This is even the foe of self, because it's our own outdated and limited perceptions of convenience that we've placed ourselves in, and we need to take a time out. If you look here, she also has the elk horns here. So this is divine protection from higher forces, higher dimensions. For some of you, you may feel like you need to check your protection levels, especially with the messages, and I know this message that came out tonight, and make sure you're taking care of your physical and emotional needs and not overextending yourself. This could make some of you feel vulnerable. So this is where you want to tap into that power. It's also letting you know, with the hands holding the earth, that we are protected. This is a time of great transformation coming forth from the higher dimensions, and it's asking us to explore these new horizons, to visit, take this time out and visit and align with a new, fresh timeline, because it is present for us at this time to be able to make these adjustments. And to not worry about the warlocks that are addicted to having control. Because even as we're elevating in frequency, and the souls and the spiritual homeostasis is being elevated, there are still some that are holding on to the old paradigms, that still want to be in control, that still want to gatekeep. But with the Algai's rune and the elk here, this is like crown chakra protection. So as you're tapping into this inner wisdom and creating peaceful self-regulation, as you're calming your emotions, know that protection is coming forward. Especially for those of you who are tapping into this divine insight and divine wisdom. Do you see the antlers are on her crown chakra? There's a tremendous amount of growth that is happening here. It's a rebirth for us as a collective, for us individually. Time to trust the instinct and unleash the wild within, and this wild is about the inner wisdom. Because it's a time of great fortune if we tap into this growth. The crystal card, the overnight, says we all hold on to guilt from our past. All of us. How we've treated the earth. How we've given over our power to others. And these things weigh our spirit down and prevent us from growing. The overnight helps us from growing. Overnight is a natural and powerful spiritual cleanser. Hold to the throat and say aloud the guilt you are holding on to. As you speak the words, the guilt will disappear. And as that guilt disappears and you step into these new beginnings, group number 2, as you're healing yourself, this allows this great fortune to come forward. Great fortune that is going to make you feel happy, that's going to allow you to maintain and make conscious decisions, but maintain this elevated frequency in self, in organizations, collectively, and with the earth. To trust your intuition as you're having this growth, and to take responsibility for our thoughts and still find a way to express ourselves in love. That is a powerful thing. You also have compliments here, and it says make someone happy by sharing kind words. Doing so will make you happy. Okay? So group number 3, this is your beautiful image, and your message says the soul star chakra. You're merging with the divine. Your crystal card is the Verisite. You have rejuvenation. And your rune is Jera with harvest. You also have sudden wealth. And you have bells with deflection. Your high vibe card says heart love. You have joy and release. You also have sacred purpose, death and rebirth. Over your shoulder, snake with shed old skin. Your chakra card is self-mastery. Trust your intuition. And forest with breathe. And then you have this card which says omen, signs, and synchronicities. I think I'm going to put this there. Can you see it? No, you can't. So maybe I'll put it there. Okay. And then your tarot card is the Tower, the High Priestess, the Moon, the Three of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Oh, and the Death card. Okay, the Tower, the Death card, the High Priestess, the Moon, the Three of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Let's see if we can put those there. Yeah, okay. Okay, group number 3. So, your divine guidance to achieve spiritual, soul, homeostasis, and how to maintain the optimal level in and through higher dimensions begins with you tapping into the soul star chakra. And that's because you guys are merging with the divine as this soul homeostasis is happening. It says the image captures the merging of time beyond space. Time beyond space, okay? And a kaleidoscope of wisdom that penetrates our being. We have lived in many worlds, all interconnected. They uphold the lessons they carry as messages of transformation. And that's exactly what we're talking about, transforming, profound transformation. So their synergy, and that just means how things work together, creates the expansion of the universe. Also the expansion of your consciousness and your subconscious. Gaze into the place where the light between our stardust can become anything. And collective evolution is part of a grander story. because we're moving into this timeline of a collective evolution where the spiritual homeostasis of an elevated frequency and vibration will be created, achieved, and maintained on an optimal level. So when we simply let go, we become all that we have been seeking and glimpse the greater dream. Meditate on the idea that everything that ever was and ever will be is happening simultaneously right now across multiple dimensions. So for all of you multi-dimensional architects, this is a part of your sacred purpose. You guys are the eternal flame and or are a part of the eternal flame, and this is a part of your ancestral legacy. And because you guys have this legacy, there is a need that comes up with the bells here for you to deflect any negative energy, because there's a death and a rebirth happening. So something old has to be shed, like the skins of a snake, in order for the new, bigger snake to thrive, in order for the rebirth of this rejuvenation of energy to thrive. A lot of you are going to have to deflect a lot of negative energy, because with these new concepts, with this elevated consciousness, there are going to be some that are like, what you talking about? What? Paradigm shifts? What? Spiritual homeostasis? What? And you're going to have to deflect that energy and continue on your journey. It's a part of your sacred purpose. So you're going to have to throw it over your shoulder. For a lot of you, it's going to have to cause you to start fresh. And you're starting fresh because a lot of people, straight up and down, just not going to want to deal with you. They're not going to understand your purpose. And they're not quite there yet. And that's not being like you're better than them, or you think you're better than them. No, we all learn different things at different times. We could all be in the same 6th grade algebra class, and some people are going to grab algebra like this, and some are going to need a tutor to make it to the next level. And that's okay too. As you're throwing these things over your shoulder and stepping into your sacred purpose, as you have to deflect this negative energy, you're being encouraged to breathe. Allow your breath to assist you in tapping into your joy and trusting your intuition. Allow your breath to rejuvenate you if you start to feel frantic and for any reason as you're deflecting these energies. And if I had a little bell, I would ring it right now. I need to order one. Ring it right now. If you see these bells on this card, I feel like, and a lot of people do that, they hit the bell to clear the energy. A lot of you are going to have to do that. I just heard ring the alarm. Ring the bell to deflect any of this negative energy. It's a part of your sacred purpose. And so this is going to create a lot of sudden changes. There's going to be people, and this is why you're going to have to toss it over your shoulder. There's going to be people that are like, man, that chick crazy, or man, he crazy, he tripping. He always talking about this spiritual this and this spiritual that. But you're on a sacred purpose. Star seeds, divine beings, chosen one. You multidimensional architect, spiritual alchemist. Continue to breathe and allow this rejuvenation that's happening within you, because it starts with self first and going within, so that it can then step out and go into the collective. You're going to have to continue to tap into your joy even as people are falling away. Some of them going to be wanting to jump out of windows to get away from you. And that's okay, because you're going to need to allow those relationships, those people, places, thought patterns to die away. Because right now, you guys are moving in multiple dimensions. You're creating change, transformation in multiple dimensions. You are an eternal flame. A lot of you are knowing this, coming into this secret. You're getting this wisdom. And even though everything is not revealed to you, you're still expanding consciously, subconsciously, across multiple dimensions. And some people don't know what to do with you. So they're going to be willing to stab you in the back. These are the ones that are going to talk behind your back. They're going to send you evil eye and weird ass thoughts. And this is not you playing victim. No, we have to be aware that certain things do happen. And not let it hold you back or stop you from your sacred purpose. You're going to have to release those people. Put it over your shoulder. Shed that old skin as you're stepping into this process. Some things, people, places, and things, you got death here twice, have to die, fall away in order for this rebirth to happen. In order to elevate your frequency, the frequency and the vibration, and then in order to maintain it. So you're going to have to trust your intuition and continue to tap into your joy. For a lot of you, honestly, when these people, places, things fall off, it's going to be like you hit sudden wealth, because this was a part of the lower vibrational frequency that was needing to be transformed. It was what needed to die away so that you could shed that skin and step forward into your sacred purpose, which is allowing you to feel this sudden wealth that's coming forth. It's also what's allowing, as you're seeing these signs and synchronicities, for you to step into your self-mastery. A lot of you had to let some things go, people, places, and things. Just let it die off. Toss it over your shoulder, shed your skin, trust your intuition as you're tapping into finding more balance of yourself, stepping into your self-mastery, allowing your soul and your spiritual vibration and frequency to be created and achieved, so that you can maintain this homeostasis on an optimal level. You guys are reaping your harvest, and it's because there are a lot of endings, but there's also a lot of beginnings, and with these beginnings, you guys are reaping the rewards. It's like you're coming full circle with your sacred purpose. It's this essence of you reaping now what you've sown. This is why the sudden wealth is coming forth for you. You guys are nurturing and being very determined about your sacred purpose. And you've gone through a lot of adversity. Tower moments, because you had to let certain people, places, and things go. You had to let certain things die off. And for a lot of you, I'm getting, you care for these people. But in the essence of not playing victim, you had to shed that skin, toss it over your shoulder, and continue to trust your intuition. Continue to tap into your heart and find that joy. And a lot of you, you're stepping into self-mastery. You're knowing full well your purpose. And even if everything's not clear, you know that you're on the path. This sacred purpose card here is card number 43. It's that spiritual path, the illuminated path. And that's why a lot of you are being guided to continue to breathe. You may even need to get out into nature and ground yourself, as you're allowing these tower moments and the death and rebirth process to happen. You guys are in a growing season. So continue to strive for the balance with everything. It's okay to release any unwarranted energies. still in a loving vibration, releasing it over to the universe. Let me see. Because it's a cycle, right? Rejuvenation. And you guys are stepping into this era of rejuvenation. For a while, a lot of you might have been down, terror moments. Your foundations felt like they were ripped from under you. But you're recognizing that death is just going from one phase of another, and it was necessary for some things to be cleared completely out, shed completely, letting that old skin go so that you can step into a higher vibrational frequency. You're releasing this unwarranted energies. It's already maxed itself out, an overwhelm of the energy when it came to 10. And now you guys are expanding. You're expanding. You're finding more joy. You're stepping into your self-mastery. 777. You're feeling the sudden wealth here. You feel the rejuvenation happening. And you guys are not only achieving, you've created the elevated frequency, but now you're in this essence of self-mastery to maintain it at an optimal level. You're not doubting your sacred purpose anymore, and you're trusting your intuition is what I'm getting. And that's how you keep growing and evolving, group number 3. Your high vibe card says heart love. Feel and receive warm energy in your heart. Say the words, I love you. And imagine those words going into the back of your heart, just between your shoulder blades, filling yourself up. This is the purest act of self-love. And your crystal card is the Verisite. The Verisite, a rare stone. This beauty comes in many different shades of green. Placed under your pillow at night and used with your daily meditation, this stone brings practice to one's mind. It can calm racing thoughts and keep you awake at night. Best when used as jewelry or just held over your third eye for a look at your past lives. Group number 3, that has been your reading. Thank you for joining me, Tonae Star, as we are expanding the consciousness and finding balance between our expanded consciousness and our subconscious. Thank you